Oh, let's get nuts indeed. We are over with this Monday. How we doing, guys? Good to see you. Welcome to Film Junkee Live. Always great to see you guys. Who wants to talk a little movies, huh? So you guys had a good weekend. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that like, thumbs up. Of course, you got the Patreon. If you want to support the Patreon, doing things over there. All of my videos are over there, ad-free. And of course, I do a post-show Film Junkee Live on Mondays, so I post it over there. Then, of course, you have the member stream, too. If you want our members option, subscription, if you want to do that to support the channel, much appreciated. How we doing out there, guys, huh? Oh, man, we got some things to talk about. You know, things are winding down with Superman, although that box office, let's face it, that box office is just, oh man, we'll talk about the box office, of course, but we got some interesting little things when it comes to a certain actor, a certain comedian actor that might be Booster Gold, which was, he wasn't, now he is again, I don't know, it's all pretty crazy. And then of course we're going to talk about those Peacemaker reviews as well as some other DCU stuff. We're going to talk about Quentin Tarantino, he's been doing some talking, and of course naturally that makes people upset because that's what he does. And then of course we'll talk about the full box office, and then we got a couple of trailers that came out today that I'm very much looking forward to, so hopefully you guys are doing good. Who's out there, huh? We got Mr. Ryan right here. Good to see. I wonder if Booster Gold will be live action or animated. He's going to be live action. He's definitely going to be, I think both, maybe both, but he's definitely going to be in live action. So, Cloned Avenger, what is happening, sir? I love Booster Gold as a character. Just not a fan of the idea of Kumail in the role, but maybe he could win me over. I see him more as an Elastic Man. See, that's the thing. It's like, it's all about that. It's all about, yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit more when we talk about that, of course. We got Monique right here. Uh-oh, Monique's going to make us hungry as she does. Let's see. Hello, all. Hope you were having a lovely Monday. It was a little bit of like, work was just blah. It's Italian sausage and Kobe beef spaghetti sauce with veggie Kraft noodles. Caesar salad and garlic bread kind of day. That's it. That's it. Jeez, always making, always making the tummy like make noises there. Man, I tell you. When my niece was little, she called it Paschetti. Yeah, I think I did too. We all had our own little ways of saying things. You know, it's kind of funny because it's on video too, somewhere, but see, my dad was a helicopter pilot in the Army for over 30 years, and then he was a helicopter pilot after he retired also. So basically a helicopter pilot. But the first time I tried to pronounce helicopter, I called it a Hudda. That's right, I called it a Hudda. That was like a running thing for a bit, that I called a helicopter a Hudda. Cute, right? It's on video somewhere. I'm sure Mama Film Junkie has it stashed somewhere, but hey. What's going on, Caleb? Good to see you, buddy. Wouldn't mind him as Booster Gold. He's a funny guy. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm going to give my 2 cents. I've already kind of talked about it a little bit, but, I'll give my 2 cents. What's going on, Arkham Knight 99? Good to see you, buddy. Mr. Hardboiled Entertainment. Eric, I've said Chris Pratt would be perfect Booster Gold, but I'm sure Gunn knows what he's doing here. Maybe keeping Pratt for another big character. I don't know. Chris Pratt we saw him on the set of Superman, so it's kind of interesting. I don't know. He would be a good Booster Gold. Clanker, what's happening? Dave the Man Film Junkie. It's me, Clanker. Yes, it is you, Clanker, and it is me, Dave the Film Junkie. Good to see you, Clanker. Always great to see you. Got Mr. Fear Jason right here. What's happening, buddy? Always great to see you out there as well. Apparently they are doing a Lego Batman game that is rumored to be announced tomorrow at some video game thing where you can play through the Keaton Batman films and the Dark Knight trilogy and BBS. What? Well, geez, that sounds pretty freaking awesome. Yeah, take it with a grain of salt, of course. But hey, that does sound right up my freaking alley. It just sucks that we're not going to get another Lego Batman movie because I really enjoyed the Lego Batman movie. Lego Batman movie came out. Nobody cared about that box office. No, I even had a poster. I had a poster up at my old place. I got rid of it because, I don't really want to do posters anymore, like just regular posters. I like framed stuff. So I was like, when I moved into this place, I was going, I'm not going to get any just standard posters anymore. You want things framed, framed just looks better. So, but I did have a Lego Batman poster that said there is no Batman without the Joker, and had both of them on it. What was that? Zach Galifianakis that voiced the Joker in the Lego Batman movie. It just sucks because being a diehard Batman fan, just all the little callbacks, all the little cameo things, and just everything about that movie. Will Arnett, great Batman voice. It all worked for me, but sadly, it just didn't. It didn't really hit that well. I think I think it made under $500 million. Didn't quite get up there. I'm not even sure how much it made, but I don't think it was. I think it was kind of it was a disappointment, sadly. But JD McRae, what's happening? What's up? It's my birthday today. Excited for Peacemaker this week. Well, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. JD. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, man. Good to see you. All right. Let's see. We got Brendan right here. Are we talking about Lego Batman? So it did make $500 million. Yeah, but I'm like, okay, so why wasn't there more? That seemed, I don't know. Everything's changed so much. I don't even know. What are we considering? I don't know how much it cost, though. I wouldn't think it would have cost that much. They should have made another one. I don't know. Was it that much? Should look it up when I do the box office. Shane-O, what's happening? Good to see ya. Let's see, we got Samir right here. Have you seen the animated adult movie Fixed on Netflix? Fucking hilarious. No, I haven't. I think I've heard of it. I saw it on my timeline, but I haven't watched it yet. So I'll have to get around to that. Sounds like it could be something very interesting. What's going on, Mr. Axel Droga? Good to see you, buddy. We got D-Man7 as well. Sup, guys? Haven't been here in a minute. Yeah, you haven't. You actually been kind of missing. So, Jeff Snyder as Booster Gold. Oh, man. That guy, no. If you want to guarantee a flop, yeah, that's for damn sure. Let's see. They were supposed to do a sequel, but unfortunately, Lego Nyanjago, whatever the hell that was, that one killed the franchise. Yeah. God, see? They went that direction as opposed to just doing another Lego Batman. Because it's like, yeah, if it made $550 million, $545 million, I mean, that's pretty fucking good. I mean, I know again, every studio wants it to make obviously twice as much. They always want to do that. They want to fill their pockets, but man, it's just I don't know. I really loved Lego Batman. I really enjoyed it a lot. So hey, and we got Rhea right here. Do what she says. Do what she says. Good to see you, Rhea, of course. And yeah, smash that thumbs up. Do all the things, everything like that. So, but hopefully, you guys had a good weekend. Again, I just had a regular weekend. Didn't go anywhere. Thought about it, one of my friends was like, hey, come up. And I was like, I'm lazy, obviously. We had a 6.5 hour vodka stream, guys. I mean, that's quite a bit. That's like old school vodka streaming right there. 6.5 hours of vodka streaming on Friday. So naturally, I woke up pretty late. I woke up at even what's late for me, because I'm kind of, I don't know, I wish I could sleep in a lot later, but I woke up at 9:30, almost 10 o'clock on Saturday, and then I stayed in bed till almost noon, kind of just lying there, scrolling, of course. But, so, yeah, Saturday, I was like, I kind of want to get out of the house, but I'm lazy, I wasn't really hungover that bad. I wasn't really that much hungover, but, 6.5 hours, just feeling lazy. And, I live so much farther away from certain friends of mine that I'm like, so I didn't go anywhere. Just watched movies, worked on things, and watched the Giants lose again. Fun Saturday. And, I did, everything happens in fours. And I'll show you guys which random four movies I watched this weekend. We'll get to it because I tweeted about it, of course. But, Saturday I watched 4 random movies because I like to let Hulu just pick my movies. Except for one I didn't let it pick. And then of course Sunday was just, nothing. I didn't really do much. It was just one of those kind of just, hey, let's just relax this weekend. This coming weekend though, I got a lot of things I'm going to be doing. So anyways, all right. I fell asleep listening to the stream. My alarm went off and you guys were still going. Yeah. I mean, I blame Travis because he came in late. And it was funny too because he wasn't intending. He was like, the joke was that we were talking about cameos or something. He was like, yeah, I just wanted to join just to say hi. But then I was like, I don't know, I got a second wind. I like talking to Travis. Travis is, one of the, ever since he's joined the streams, I like the back and forth. I like talking to Travis. So even though I was feeling a little tired, once Travis came in, got a little bit of a jolt. So I was like, yeah, let's talk for another hour with Travis. So nothing against that. Obviously we give each other shit. That's what I love about Travis. And but yeah, since he joined late, it was just like, let's just go a little more. And Scott was on the stream with Ray, so it was like a squad cast reunion because they haven't worked together in a little bit, because of all the squad cast stuff. So it was just nice. It was a fun stream. It was a really fun stream, and the 6.5 hours did not feel like 6.5 hours. And it's funny too because I did 6.5 hours. Not everybody did 6.5 hours, because remember, I always like fucking talk shit for about the first 45 minutes or an hour. But anyways, that's besides the point. It was good times. It was definitely good times. What's going on, Belle? Good to see you. I see you out there. What's happening, Belle? Hopefully you're having a good Monday as well. All right, let's dive into it, guys. Let's dive into the tweets. Guys, I got some new pajamas over the weekend. I don't know if I should share this, but I was like, you know what? Why not? I'll share this. I got some new pajamas. I was like, yeah, these will be comfortable, specifically for winter time, I think, for these pajamas. But here we go right here. How do these pajamas look? They look good. I think they're pretty comfy, right? Right? Does that look pretty good right there? Yeah, just rocking the pajamas. Whoop. Forgot that right there. Yeah. I mean, that's Fear Jason right there, of course. Put my face on Corenswet's body right there. When it comes to the testing of the Superman costume, it's so funny too because when that image, the actual image of Corenswet being posted, I mean, I didn't really talk about it that much. I kind of forgot last week during the show when the behind the scenes came about, and of course that image got thrown around, and everybody was like, "What the hell is this?" It's like, yeah. It looks pretty interesting, but I mean, if you look closely, I mean, there's literally pins in the costume. There's literally pins. It's just like, hey, there's the costume without anything and everything. But we got something. I have something else that we'll see when it comes to, the Superman free balling costume. But yeah, gotta love that. So thank you for Jason for that one. Let's see what else we got. You want to see something funny? So, Die Hard is one of the best action movies ever. It is a Christmas movie. I don't care what anybody says. It is a Christmas movie. I know that Bruce Willis himself said it's not a Christmas movie. We've seen the footage, but it's like, no, Bruce, no. It's a Christmas movie. I don't care. I don't care. When it comes to Christmas time, I watch it numerous times. Definitely always watch it at least once. But I saw this image right here. I was like, it's pretty funny because somebody took the cover. Actually, they took the cover of, I think, this is Die Hard 2, actually. They took the cover and the disc and they aligned it with, just look at this image. Darn it. I mean, it's just... Have you seen my wife? It's just, oh. I mean, it just looks funny. People get creative online, and like, how did anybody like realize that if you do that, he's gonna be cross-eyed? I don't know. It's just funny. I just thought that was funny. But yeah, I think that's actually Die Hard 2 that they were actually doing right there. Not the first Die Hard, but it still stands that the first Die Hard is 100% a Christmas movie. Die Hard 2 could be a Christmas movie too, I guess. Die Hard 3, not even close. Scary Movie 6. Hey, we knew this was going to happen, of course. You can't have Scary Movie 6 without Regina Hall and Anna Faris. Of course. Hello. Yeah, when it was announced that the Wayans were coming back for Scary Movie 6, it was not yet confirmed that they were going to be returning, but of course they have to return. So yes, they are both returning. And then of course we have a quote right here. "We can't wait to bring Brenda and Cindy back to life and be reunited with our great friends Keenan, Sean, and Marlon. 3 men we'd literally die for in Brendan's case again." So there you go. So they will return too. It just absolutely makes sense. Come on. Can't have it. It's going to be interesting to see, especially after the Naked Gun movie. The new Naked Gun came out, and a lot of people really liked it. I thought it was great. It really captured a little bit of that, captured that essence of old parody movies, which we desperately need. And so I'm kind of wondering, okay, so what are the scary movies going to be? Are we going to recapture that magic that the first 2 scary movies had? Of course, Scary Movie 3 and 4, and I guess 5, there was a 5th one. Those were not Marlon and Sean Wayans. They were not the Wayans brothers that were handling those. So it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be R-rated. Who's shocked by this? I don't think anybody's shocked by this, but come on. It was teased already before, like Ryan Reynolds already teased it. If you guys saw that, he put like the little A, and whatever. But now it's confirmed, I guess. Ryan Reynolds will appear in Avengers Doomsday. I love how One Take said Ryan Reynolds will appear in Avengers Doomsday. Why don't you say Deadpool? It's like Ryan Reynolds will appear or Deadpool? Is Ryan Reynolds just going to show up or is Deadpool? I don't know. Just saying wording. The wording right there should have been, a little bit better. But, whatever. Ryan Reynolds, let's see. Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool. Because I remember, even before that, a day or a couple of days before that, was even it's obviously showing that, but what was the screenshot? He posted this screenshot right here. So right there on his Instagram, he already was teasing it. So, yeah. So what are we doing here? It wasn't even news. When an actor posts that, it's yeah, of course that's going to be the case. It's just going to be very interesting when it comes to Avengers Doomsday. How many groups, how many teams? There's going to be teams. There's going to be multiple teams, right? There's going to be multiple teams. You're going to have the new Avengers, the other Avengers, Fantastic Four. Probably going to have whatever, maybe Deadpool and his group of people are going to be showing up too. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. I don't know. What's happening there, Indiana Jake? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, what else we got? This is real right here. This is absolutely real because, when we see the relationship that is Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle, Batman and Catwoman, it is one of those, it's one of those relationships where you go, they can never really be together, but they are so drawn together. They're so, and I'm sure when it comes to alone time, it's pretty hot, probably pretty hot when it comes to bats and cats. Selina and Bruce, I'm pretty sure it's great. And of course, there's been, comic books. There was that run that came out a couple of years ago that was really emphasizing the Selina, Kyle, and Bruce relationship. And yeah, you better believe pretty much hotness there. But at the same time, this is real, and this is the reality that Bruce has to face when being with Selina Kyle. All the cats! All the cats! Trying to sleep, she's all snuggled up against him, and he's just lying there going, oh my God, how many cats are lying up against me? Jesus Christ, count all the cats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's at least 10 cats there. Poor Bruce. He just wants to get some sleep after, yeah. Poor guy. But at the same time, hey, it's what you sign up for when you're being with Selina Kyle right there. I just thought that was funny. Oh boy, we got this right here. So we got Gal Gadot, and I'm sure you guys saw this. This kind of made the rounds over the weekend, and it was, oh my God, it got a lot of traction. It definitely got a lot of traction because Gal Gadot, she was being interviewed and everything, and I'm not going to bring up the actual video because she actually is speaking in her native language and everything. So I'm not going to bring up that, but I'm going to bring up the quote when she talks about why exactly did the Snow White live action movie flop. Gal Gadot claims that Snow White flopped because of the pressure on celebrities to bring up things against Israel rather than her terrible acting. Wow, they didn't hold back with that one. And then here's the quote right here. You can always explain and try to give people in the world a context about what's happening in Israel and what the reality is here. And in the end, people decide for themselves. Gal, no! Sorry. I know. I couldn't help myself by thinking that. Now, I don't think Gal Gadot is a super terrible actress. She has her moments, though. I will say there has been some moments where it's and that's one of them when she says Kal-El, no. And it was one of those things was that a reshoot or was that initially, and sure enough, that is in the Snyder Cut. And it was one of those, yeah, should have been another take of that or something. Yeah. Does have a moment, but when you watch Snow White, I don't know if I can understand her point of view a little bit. Like I said, I have no dog in the fight when it comes to the whole Middle East conflict, Palestine, Israel. I'm not one of those that I'm going to pretend like I know everything and chime in and take a side or whatever the hell. I'm politically homeless, guys. I've said that many times. I don't have a dog in the fight because I don't know a lot. So I'm just, whatever. My whole stance is, can we just not have people die? Especially women and children. I just don't want war sucks. That's always been my stance. War sucks. So when she talks about this, I'm sure there's some of that because of where she comes from. I'm sure there is 100%. But at the same time, Snow White just flopped because nobody cared for it. Rachel Zegler didn't help either. And yeah, the whole thing was just, I don't know. It was Disney just going, hey, we're going to do this and let's try to do this with this. And it just didn't work. Okay? The singing scenes from everybody was terrible. A lot of things were terrible. Okay? A lot of things were definitely terrible. So, yeah. But it was just oh, don't say that. Don't say that. Oi. Oi, oi, oi. But then at the same time, it's well, she's being interviewed, so she could say whatever she wants. Like I said, I don't have any hate for Gal Gadot. I don't. I'm not one of those people. Like I said, I don't take a side when it comes to all that. That's all. That's all I got to say. DC Studios intros. Okay, so I talked about last week when it came to Peacemaker. Somebody, Digimang, they decided to make a Peacemaker opening DC Studios, little intro. And it's one of those things where you kind of go, yeah, why isn't DC Studios thinking about doing this? And apparently they're not going to be doing this. It's just going to be, hey, we're just going to show the very first, Superman iteration and him breaking through the chains. So that's going to be the DC Studios opening. But I really hope that they adapt and decide to just do it for each individual character. I mean, we have Peacemaker coming up. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case with Peacemaker, and it sucks because we have Digimang right here that I already showed you Peacemaker, but they also have another one for another series that's coming up. So they have now Green Lantern. Green Lantern right there because Green Lantern's going to be next. Look at that. I mean, it just seems like something so simple, right? And all they have to do is just hey, just hit up these guys, pay them some money, and there you go. It just seems like that's the way to go. It just seems like that's the way to go. So yeah, That was all 3 right there. And obviously one of them's legit and the other 2 are just, they're not actually official. And they should be official. It's just, I don't know, I just think that's really cool. Should be that way. And here we go, guys. This is what it's all about right here, okay? Superhero movies. This is what it's all about. Yes, we can go back and forth. There's always going to be a discourse. And, obviously being adults, yes, superhero movies, yes, they're always going to be near and dear to our hearts. Of course. So we hold it very close to our hearts. And like Zack Snyder has once said, it is like religion. And it definitely is when you see the discourse out there and the way things are in 2025. It's absolutely crazy. And who knew that it was going to be like this 10 years ago? 10 years ago, it was even crazy, but whatever, obviously 10 years ago, DC was trying to find their footing and they had the guy to do it. But of course, it wasn't exactly the response that they wanted when it came to the general audience. And of course, Marvel Studios was killing it. But then, I'm just saying, like, hey, adults, everybody out there who's like tweeting nonstop and, absolutely hates James Gunn and Superman, or even like the people that hate certain things and certain iterations, they hate Zack's version and all this stuff, or they hate what Marvel Studios is doing. Hey, this is what it's all about right here. And this is from the Spider-Man Brand New Day set. Check out this awesome video right here. Look at that. Got a kid right there. I'm not sure that's Tom Holland. I think that's a stuntman. Maybe it is. I don't know. Could be Tom Holland. Maybe it is. But it's those little moments right there. That's where you go, oh yeah. Why are we talking about box office? Why are we talking about box office or fucking costumes? 40, 50-year-old men. We're just like, beating our keyboards like, When it's like, this kid right here has no idea. No idea. He's just on his dad. He's on his dad's shoulders wearing a Miles Morales Spider-Man costume, by the way, which is also awesome. And he's seeing Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's looking over at him and waving at him and going thumbs up, thwip, thwip. That's what it's about right there. I love that. It's really cool. Really cool. So I thought this was funny right here because obviously with Fantastic Four out right now, and, we all want to forget Fan Four Stick. We all want to forget, even though there's a good movie in there somewhere. I think Josh Trank was trying to do something different, and the studio was just not having it. And, one of these days, maybe we'll learn more of the details of what happened behind the scenes, because we've heard some bad things when it comes to even Josh Trank. But I saw this right here, and I'm like going, oh, this is pretty funny. It's pretty funny because it was like, how the last scene of Fan Four Stick was an obvious reshoot, and they really just, that whole scene, where the Thing just goes, yeah, it's fantastic. And then we got Miles Teller trying his best to be like, what'd you say? One of those where literally that would be, that scene would be found in a fake scene in The Boys for one of those Vought movies. But this comment right here was pretty hilarious when I saw this, like a little screenshot. Hated this scene so fucking much that I watched Whiplash right afterwards just to see him get psychologically abused. I love that. Whiplash is one of my all-time favorite movies. Whiplash is in my top 20. I love Whiplash. Of course, Miles Teller's in there. J.K. Simmons. It's just so good. Love that movie so much. So the fact that comment, that's what made me laugh about it. It's like, I'm like, it's just, I saw that and when I saw that, I immediately just laughed out loud. I laughed out loud because that movie, I just love that movie. And then, yes, guys, we lost a legend over the weekend. So if you have, I don't have anything, I have some water. So cheers to, obviously we could raise our glass. I raised my plastic cup of, right here. But we lost a legend over the weekend, and that is, of course, Terrance Stamp. So cheers to his friends and family. condolences, of course. Put that over there because I'm gonna end up moving. I'm gonna end up knocking it off. But yes, we lost him. Of course, you know, a lot of people are like, you know, always just, you know, we saw some good tweets out there when it came to that. Oh yeah, you know, today's a good day to actually kneel before Zod, you know, stuff like that. Obviously, he was, you know, he made Zod, you know, a character in the whole kneel before Zod and everything, the way that he screamed that out. But man, did he have a pretty prolific career. You know, he was in a lot of things all the way to the end. But, yeah. So cheers to that. But he lived a full life, 87 years, man. And he was working all the way to the very end. He was working. So, yeah, cheers to Terrance Stamp's friends and family right there. So, okay. Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't know if you guys saw this, but she went viral over the weekend, and for good reasons. 2 good reasons. But yeah, a TikTok video was basically like going around, well, a TikTok ad, and it was probably on YouTube and even Instagram and everything of, they kudos on them, because, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis, she's still looking good. She's a silver fox. I don't care. She's still a silver fox. And I'm sure you guys saw the video, and here's the video right here.
Everybody, it's Jamie Lee Curtis. Come see Freakier Friday. The same level of nostalgia and joy and laugh.
Okay, so there she is right there, obviously. And they knew exactly what they were doing. You don't just, oops, my shirt's open or whatever. No. That shirt is purposely open, a shoulder is out, and that cleavage is out there. Okay? That cleavage is out there. But what this video shows now is
nostalgia
somebody
and
was
joy
going, hey,
and
I don't think they... So they start showing comments, people responding, and they're absolutely hilarious.
Happiness and tears and friendships are
and that's what's always funny. I was not familiar with your game before,
later,
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie
Lee Curtis... We selling tickets one way or another. Jamie Lee Melkers. Where did those come from?
Big group of people who are finding something
really
sweet
so the comments
at
were
the end of the summer
what everybody
to
was
remind
looking
them what it is to be alive. I'm just really privileged.
Salutations, Jamie Lee. How you doing today?
And so, thank you.
Oh, it's freakier, all right. And a lot of like...
Hi, everybody.
Y'all been sleeping on Miss Jamie Lee Curtis. She's always been a stunner.
It's Jamie Lee Curtis.
Thank you, Jamie, for aging naturally in Hollywood. So yeah, some of you people didn't watch True Lies or Trading Places. Some of you, I would say True Lies, the better scene. Some of you gotta fucking go watch True Lies and watch that scene. That scene made me a man. That scene definitely made me, jeez. Holy Lord. But yeah, but they knew exactly what they were doing. She knew exactly what they were doing. So yeah, comments are funny. But yeah, kudos. She's still looking quite good. Quite good. And then yes, guys, like I said, you know, it seems like things get watched in 4s. And, you know, if you want to see what my Saturday movie watch was, of course I had to fit the Giants game in there. You know, so I watched like 3 movies during the day, and then I watched another movie after the Giants game. So this was my Saturday evening watches right here. So if you look right here, some people might not know what this movie is when just looking at it. I had somebody ask, I think Samir out there, if you asked what that movie was. And of course, that is I'm kind of on a Danny Boyle kick, because last week I watched the fucking The Beach, but I decided to watch. I started off with Sunshine, which if you haven't watched that movie, do yourself a favor. Excellent sci-fi movie. So that's Sunshine, and that's Cillian Murphy right there, getting blasted. And then Hulu decided to pick, hey, let's do the remake of The Day the Earth Stood Still, which is not a bad movie. Not a bad movie. Keanu Reeves. What's her name? Can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she, you know, super gorgeous, totally drawn a blank. And then it picked the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which I hadn't seen in a long time. It's a fun movie. It's not all great, but But it's a fun movie. It's Sean Connery leading, the Invisible Man, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, all that stuff. Good stuff, And then, of course, naturally, Superman came out this weekend, and I decided, you know what? I enjoyed it, so I watched it for a fourth time. So now I've seen Superman a fourth time. I was like, you know what? I'll chip into it, and I got the digital copy, and I decided to watch it, and that rounded out my night watching Superman, which is kind of interesting because I do have some thoughts about some certain things, which we'll get to. We'll definitely get to. All right, what else we got? I've seen Superman 4 times, and see, there you go. Nothing wrong with that. You enjoy a movie, go out to the movie theaters and watch it. This is great right here, and everybody, any Star Wars fan, and the people that were at here, let's see, where was this at? This was at, I forgot where, I don't know, it doesn't say where it's at, but somebody captured this right here. We have Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor on stage, on a panel, a full fucking crowd, Star Wars fans, and guess what? They have some fake lightsabers, and guess what? Did I say sabers? Sabers. So they're both right there. Apparently, Ewan's doesn't. So then they were like, all right, you got to do the twirls. You got to do the freaking lightsaber twirls right here. And you got to do, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, join me in saying goodbye to Ewan McGregor.
So cool. I mean, come on. Well, you had Obi-Wan not too long ago, so they were still in good lightsaber twirling shape. Oh, this is funny. You know what I find funny, guys? Is, obviously when we have this stupid discourse when it comes to the fandom, especially when it comes to Snyder and Gunn and everything. And, it's always funny because when I go down the For You section of Twitter, the For You section is madness. It's pure madness. You have to prepare yourself to go down that because that's literally Twitter going, well, okay, so judging by what you like to, what you look at and talk about and post about, I'm going to show you a bunch of, this. And then, of course, if you click on something, it just kind of like goes, okay, you like this? And yeah, be careful what you click on because then all of a sudden Twitter's just going to show you this right here. But, so, this individual right here is, of course, a crazy, Snyder fan and whatever. And, of course, we're going to be talking about the box office and everything. But this person right here said this is why they went back to nitpicking Batman vs. Superman and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Because of obviously what Variety posted right here when it came to it with Superman not getting past Man of Steel. But this image right here, I come across it every now and again, which is Zack laughing. Now, some of you know this image. Some of you know that is my arm right there in the image. That is my poster, which I have hung up in my room. Not over here, in my room. That is him signing that poster. That is from 2019, the first SnyderCon, the first event right there. But it's funny because, when it comes to the discourse with, guys that don't like me, they like to use that image because it's Zack laughing like that. But that is my arm. But, of course, they crop me out because, they can't have me in there. But that's what's so funny. It's like, I'll come across that. I'm like, oh, yeah, there's my image again. That's my arm. And the reason why he's laughing, I made a dumb, Batman chin joke, I don't know. I made so I talked about how, casting for Batman, you must have just had a bunch of headshots, but you just, you put something, you were looking at chins. You had a bunch of chin shots. You didn't have, anyways, it was a chin joke. I don't even remember how I worded it, but I made Zack laugh. But it's just funny when I come across that every now and again where I just go, oh yeah, these guys are using that image. That's my image. But of course, they'll crop me out. I should sue them, right? But it's just funny. And I saw that. I'm like, oh yeah, there we go. Using the image again for the discourse. Then, of course, hey, there's my arm right there. There's my arm. because I forgot exactly how I worded the joke, and he like did it, and then I just like, you know, I started kind of laughing too, and I put my hand on his shoulder. So it was like me in mid, and like it was pretty cool because his assistant that he had, who had my phone camera, she was just taking pictures. And then, of course, if you go to my channel, you can actually, you know, Zack did like, hey, you're watching the film Junkee and blah, blah, blah. You can actually see that. So, pretty cool. It's a cool moment. That was the first time I met Zack. And it was kind of surreal because, you know, well, first off, during that full circle, that it wasn't full circle was the second one. But that first Snyder Con in 2019, which was 6 years ago, crazy to think about. 2019, yeah. I remember I was sitting next to Chris Wong Swenson during like the first round. I think it was like when we were gonna watch. We only were gonna watch BVS, but it was right before we were. I don't know. It was like the first little round of whatever. I think it was like the first little like opening Q&A thing or whatever the hell. Something like that. I was sitting next to Chris Wong Swenson. And then when Zack came out, and he was just like, hey guys. And then he like looked at us, and he was like, he pointed. And we both were like, he just pointed at us. What the fuck? He just pointed at us. Like, he was just like that. And I was like, okay. So then when I walked up to get the poster signed, I mean, he literally was like, hey, there's the guy. And I went, what the fuck? I mean, it was just weird, you know, because it was like, we haven't really met, we haven't really talked by, you know, at that point. But the fact that he was like, oh yeah, it's a film junkie. I know, I've seen your shit. When you're like, one of your favorite directors actually goes, oh yeah, there's the guy. Hey, you know, and everything. So, and then of course, when you make him laugh, that's pretty cool. You know, but then of course, after that, we became friends. He showed up on the Vodka stream numerous times, which was absolutely great. So, just crazy to think about. So anytime I see that image, it's funny because it's always used in the discourse by guys that don't like me. But then I just get nostalgic and go, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You know what else is kind of cool? This right here. I don't know if you guys seen this. Yes, it's AI. It's AI. But, you know, there's something kind of interesting about it because it's basically showing you what the Avengers would have been. We've seen this before. We've seen this before with just still images of like who would be cast in the Avengers in the 80s or the 90s or whatever. So somebody made a video about it. But the thing that stands out the most from this little video right here, which is like an opening, it's like the opening of a sitcom from the 80s. But the thing that stands out the most is the 80s vibe Avengers theme. Hear that shit? Brad Pitt, Captain America. Dolph Lundgren, come on. Phoebe Cates, hell yeah. Okay. Don't do it. Ah, they gave him the fro. Oh, there's like, you have the shot of Denzel. Okay, so Denzel as it's right there. He's just normal hair, and then it's like, we gotta give you the fro. Oh, AI is racist. Kurt Russell as Winter Soldier. Come on. We got River Phoenix as Spider-Man. Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Hulk. That doesn't even make sense. Look at that. What the hell is that? Demi Moore as Scarlet Witch? Pretty awesome. That's perfect. Nicolas Cage as Loki. Come on. And then Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen is Doctor Strange. And then you got Eddie Murphy. As War Machine. Emilio Estevez as Hawkeye. And then, can you imagine? What? I just thought, yeah. Huh? Thought? Huh? Yeah. Gotta get the Infinity Stones, huh? But yeah, hilarious. And that's pretty much it. But that theme song, that 80s style Avengers theme song, that's the best part about it. That's the best part. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's fun. It's whatever. Like I said, it's just AI stuff. But at the same time, I love that theme song. I love the 80s style theme song. Just absolutely fantastic. Oh, it's so friggin' good. Superman without the chonies again. I know, I don't know how I keep on talking about this. I know. It's always going to be part of the discourse. But now that we have Superman out so we can actually have clear images, and then of course you have the Photoshop experts out there that's going to remove the chones and kind of just go like, okay, let's tweak this right here. And one of the best shots, I think, of Corenswet as Superman is towards the end when his suit's kind of, you know, messed up a little bit. He's got the arms crossed. He's in Luthor's little whatever, you know, little office thing, and we see that shot of him. And so they took that image and they decided to, well, he's free balling again. Oh, I mean, of course you can see the outline of the Jones, which is funny. But they put that red belt in there with the yellow in it, and I went, okay. But of course, when you see the outline, it's kind of, This costume, basically, I don't know, this costume does need the chones. It needs the chones, and then of course, there's another quick edit which made the more yellow belt, which was kind of what we saw in the behind the scenes. Yeah, I mean, let's just face it. The Corenswet costume needs the chones. It's not bad. I don't mind the red belt with the yellow right there, but I think it kind of needs the chones. But the red belt looks pretty good. It helps. It helps. But, you know, just something different. Ooh, buddy. What's his name? Something, oh shit, what's his name? Fuck. Someone's gonna have to help me with this. I know his last name, I can't remember his first name. Street Fighter. We got more of a tease of Street Fighter, and Cody Rhodes, right? Cody? Is this Cody Rhodes? I don't know. The guy's playing Guile. The wrestler that's playing Guile, which when I saw it, I went, yeah, it is Cody. Thank you. Okay, so I was like, I couldn't remember his first name. It was like Rhodes, something, because I don't watch wrestling, so I'm like, who? But when I saw it, I was like, yeah, he's cast as Guile. He looks like Guile. I don't know if he's going to act, but again, the movie probably, who knows what this movie is going to end up being. But the biggest question was like, okay, are they actually going to go full Guile flat top when it comes to Street Fighter, when it comes to his character? They didn't do that with the 1990s version. They did not do that with Van Damme. Because, you know, it's like, okay, why would an army or like somebody in the military have that kind of hair? Would they actually have that? But, well, we got Andrew Schultz, who's actually in the movie too. Comedian Andrew Schultz. He's one of the characters in the movie. He decided to take an image, which was really cool, to tease Cody Rhodes as Guile. And we got a shadow right there. And obviously we could see that he's wearing the army pants and the boots. And the shadow is definitely showing that flat top. That full-on Guile flat top. So, hey, looks like these characters are going to look pretty legit. Hopefully. I still don't know what's his name's going to look like as M. Bison. It just doesn't seem like he's M. Bison type of material. Now, we have also 50 Cent as Balrog. I could kind of see that, maybe. I don't know. But Cody Rhodes as Guile seems like that's going to be super legit. And I'm sure he's going to have like the tank top with the army pants and the boots. Sonic boom. It's going to be very interesting. This is hilarious. This is absolutely hilarious right here. Because we have Paul Walter Hauser, who of course, he just shows up in so many random movies, and the guy is killing it. The guy's absolutely killing it. I really like the guy when I've seen him in interviews and on podcasts. He just seems like a really laid-back dude and seems like a cool dude. And he keeps on getting like these roles in like these big movies. He was in 2 big movies that were within a week of each other. He was in Fantastic Four and The Naked Gun. But it's what I appreciate about Mr. Hauser right here is that even though he was in Fantastic Four, Well, first off, he told so many people, he said, which Kevin Feige was probably not too happy about, that he was playing the Mole Man, or, the leader of the Mole Man, which was not that great, to be honest. I thought his character was just kind of dumb, but it's kind of funny right here, because not only did he tell a bunch of people when he shouldn't have told people that he was going to be in Fantastic Four, he also gave Fantastic Four a 3.5 out of 5. I love the score, the production design, the performances. I wish they hadn't cut my scene with Vanessa Kirby, but I'm stoked that I got to be in a Marvel movie. And he still gave it a 3 out of 5. Because he knows how much they cut from that movie, which, when it comes to all this box office discourse with Superman, seems like the people who were like totally trying to lift up Fantastic Four, they left Fantastic Four in the dust. They don't give a shit about Fantastic Four anymore because they thought Fantastic Four was going to fucking totally take the legs out of Superman. It didn't. It was struggling. It's still struggling itself. And that movie was cut to shit. Even though, thankfully, they still turned out a good movie. Even though I have to watch it again. And like I said, that first act was a slog for me. That second act was, oh. And then the third act was like, okay, okay, cool. Cool little, all right, you defeated Galactus. All right, sweet. But I love that. It's pretty good stuff. All right, what else we got? Okay, this can't be real, but apparently it is real. Popcorn buckets are getting a little out of control, a little weird. There's no way that this is real. No, I'm refusing to believe when it comes to certain popcorn buckets, but naturally we have the Conjuring Last Rites that's going to be coming out soon. So we have some popcorn buckets when it comes to Annabelle. And Cinemark, this can't be real. So there's the front of the popcorn bucket, right? That's the front of it. That's the back. So the popcorn comes out of the back like that? What are we doing here? No. We can't, no. That can't be the popcorn bucket, but Cinemark, apparently that is. Yikes. You're gonna eat the popcorn out of Annabelle's backside. I don't know, it's weird. There's another one, though, where she's just holding the bucket. I think that's like AMC's. It could be a drink holder. You could be right. Maybe that is a drink holder. But that's still weird. That could be a drink holder. Yeah, it seems like it's... Because there's the other one. I don't know. There's one where it's like she's holding the bucket. And that looks pretty cool. Anyways. It was just funny. Booty popcorn. Who is the best wrestler turned actor? This has been something that's been thrown out there, and we have some, obviously we're talking about the big three that wrestlers turn into actors, which is Dwayne Johnson, John Cena, and of course, Dave Bautista. Now, place your bets on which one you think it is. I think it's, when you think about the work and the roles that these men have taken, I've always been like, well, it seems like Bautista has really tried to challenge himself when it comes to the roles he's chosen. And sure enough, according to the Hollywood Reporter has ranked Dave Bautista as the greatest wrestler turned actor, placing him above names like Dwayne Johnson and John Cena. Apparently, Dwayne Johnson was second and John Cena was third, which I would probably argue maybe that could be flip-flop. But then at the same time, we still have the Smashing Machine that's coming out, where Dwayne Johnson is actually going to be stepping out of his comfort zone and actually not just being Dwayne Johnson. If you've seen that trailer, which it's like, wow, that doesn't even look like that much like Dwayne Johnson, and he's going for it. He's going for it. I think losing out on DC Studios was good for Dwayne Johnson because I think his next movie is a Martin Scorsese movie. So, yeah, I think we're going to finally see a Dwayne Johnson of like, hey, we're not going to see just Dwayne Johnson being the action hero Dwayne Johnson anymore. Well, we'll probably still see that, of course. But, Dave Bautista took it upon himself to like, hey, let me be in Blade Runner and have a small role to show my acting chops. Let me be in, what was that M. Night Shyamalan Knock at the Cabin? Let me be in a movie like that. Let me be in these movies where I'm not just the action hero. Yes, he does the action stuff still, but he's also challenging himself. And, John Cena, he's just in everything. Just in everything. Absolutely in everything, so. But we'll see what happens when it comes to Dwayne Johnson. And then this is interesting, too, right here when it comes to the Zombies, the Marvel Zombies animated series that's going to be coming out. And a lot of people are going, what's going on here? Mahershala Ali is reportedly not voicing Blade in Marvel Zombies. Todd Williams will take on the role. He also previously replaced Ali as the voice of Titan in Invincible. So apparently this Todd Williams guy is, sounds enough like Mahershala Ali, but it's just kind of funny. It's like, okay, we don't know. We don't know what's going on with that Blade and all the stuff that's going on with Blade, but apparently, yeah, he's not. Mahershala Ali is definitely not going to be voicing Blade in there, so. All right, and I think that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much it when it comes to the tweets. When it comes to the tweets, huh? Why not Snipes? I don't think they want to go with Snipes when it comes to that. I don't think they want to go with Snipes. I mean, yeah, they should do a send-off with Snipes, but hey, what could he do? All right. Oops. We're not doing Tarantino quite yet. Let's talk about some DC news right here. Okay, so let's see. How am I going to approach this? All right, so, okay, let me do this. Because I always like to look at DC film news, which I do, yeah. But I have some other things I wanted to, talk about as well. Okay, so we'll talk about that. And we'll get that little clip, which is fun. So not really much when it comes to DCU news, full-on news. There's not really much here. That's why, but of course we have Peacemaker coming out and everything. Obviously, there is a shit ton of people. I mean, if you go down your For You page, and I was going down my For You page, and I was seeing just clips. So many clips of Superman. So many clips. I mean, essentially, you could watch the entire movie of Superman on Twitter just with all the clips that are posted now, that it's all, on digital, and people are posting clips. But it's so funny because most of the clips are from the people who are hating it and tweeting about it 24/7, which is, I just find it weird. I still will never understand when you hate something so much, but then again, it's like, well, you built your whole persona on Twitter. I guess that makes sense. But, here's one thing that I wanted to actually kind of talk about. No, it's not that one right there. One part I wanted to talk about, because obviously a lot of people were talking about it, and it's the Superman monologue scene at the end when he talks about, I'm just as human as everyone else. That whole monologue scene, a lot of people were, of course, passing that around, and it was kind of interesting because seeing the reaction to that scene online, now that you can get fully out there, and a lot of people were commenting about it. I mean, I was seeing mainly the two extremes of, this is one of the greatest Superman moments ever caught on, film or whatever. And then, oh my God, this is the worst dialogue. It's so cringy. It's this, that, and this. And it was interesting to kind of see that and see people's reactions to it, because I had kind of a thought about it, because I went, anytime, I've seen the movie now 4 times. When it comes to that scene, I just kind of look at that monologue scene going, I know exactly what you were going for, Jimmy Guns. I don't know if you quite hit the mark. That's the way I kind of feel about it. I enjoy that scene and I totally understand that scene. I just don't know if the execution was quite there. And of course we saw the behind the scenes when it came to all that and them trying to work it out. I'm just not quite sure it quite hit the mark. And then it kind of reminded me of the Martha scene in BVS, where obviously those two scenes are quite the opposite and are pivotal in their stories, and neither one of them can switch. You can never have a scene like the monologue scene in Snyderverse, and you couldn't have the Martha moment in a James Gunn movie, for sure. But it was just kind of interesting because I'm like, whoa, the way that people were going back and forth that I saw online over the weekend, I was like, is this like the Superman Martha moment? And the only reason why I'm saying that is because people are just going to the extremes and going, this is super cringe, or it's like one of the greatest things ever. And for me, I was like going, because even like to this day, as much as I think the Martha moment is not terrible, I just think sometimes maybe it just didn't quite hit the mark that they wanted it to hit, you know? When it came to it, it's very pivotal to the story, but even like the way that the execution, even the way like Ben Affleck responds to it and does like a little weird little, why'd you say that? And then looks, I even kind of go, yeah, why did, there could have been probably another way to kind of, I don't know, something when it comes to that. And I know I'm probably going to piss people off by saying that, you traitor. No, but I'm just like, there was always like, I don't know. Like I said, two vastly different scenes, but just seeing I'm just talking about the reaction to both of those scenes. And then my feelings about those scenes were, you know, I just watch it and go, I see where you're going for, but maybe it just didn't quite hit the target. I don't know. But I don't know. It's just like, I was just looking at the reactions to all the stuff. Because like when I watched it for the fourth time, the monologue scene, I'm like, yeah, see, I see where you're going for, but it just didn't quite, you know? And yeah, but there's like so many other scenes I probably could compare that to. It was just, for some reason, I was just going, oh yeah, but everybody still talks about that moment, you know, when it comes to BVS and whatever the hell and all this, whatever the fuck and shit like that. It's just like, but I'm specifically talking about the reaction. And I know people are going to take it exactly the wrong way. It's like, no, they're not. Yes, I know they're not at all the same. They're not at all the same. Neither one of those scenes could fit in either universe. They could not swap, which is good. But I'm just saying, just seeing like the reaction to it, just like when BBS came out on digital and then people were posting that clip and going, what the fuck? Of just seeing the reaction where it's like people just either really love it or really hate it. Seems like the same thing when it comes to the monologue scene. Really love it, really hate it. Okay? And that's where I was just kind of doing the comparison. That's all. I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of interesting. And then for me, like I said, when I watched both of those moments, I'm like, see what you're going for? Maybe it just didn't quite, you know, there's certain things where I go, just certain things they just tweak that maybe I would feel better about. I don't know. Just me. That's all. That's just, hey, my opinion about it. Like I said, I still think BVS is still one of my favorite fucking all-time superhero movies. Trust me. I just think there's like a little bit in there where I'm like, oh, maybe if you just tweak this slightly. When it comes to the monologue scene, I'm like going, just tweak the execution slightly, and then maybe that'll be a better scene for me. I don't know. Oh, don't come at me. I'm just saying. I'm trying to be, Let's see what else we got. So we had that. Okay. We had a couple other things too that I wanted to talk about. So we got James Gunn right here. Okay, so let's talk about the Batman a little bit right here. So James Gunn was on Smartless, of course. That's the podcast with Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett. And he was on there talking about, of course, Superman and, of course, the DCU. And he talked about, I mean, it's so funny because even we keep hearing from Nia DaCosta talking about the Marvels and how the fact that, you know, the pitch that she gave for the Marvels wasn't what the ending product ended up being because of the script. They didn't have so much with the script, and then of course they were rearranging the script, and then she realized as she was directing, this is not the movie that I pitched. And you know, that is something James Gunn is trying not to do as much as possible. So he had this quote, so we have a quote right here when it comes to him talking about the DCU, and then even referring to Matt Reeves in the Batman Part D.
Isn't that at odds sometimes, James? When, especially in the big tentpole stuff that you guys do there at DC, where you have to like put your flag down on the ground with a date, and then sometimes that script is not yet written, but it has to be written by a certain time in order to make the film, all the effects and all that stuff, and hit that release date. Isn't that sometimes at odds with you saying we're not doing anything till the script's right?
It is, but I'll change the date. I don't, you know, I mean, if that has to happen.
Gotcha.
I mean, I just generally, you know, we've been just running off of, you know, screenplays. So Superman got finished. People liked it. We made Superman. Supergirl was written by this wonderful writer, Ana Naguara, and then that was really good, and so we greenlit that.
Right.
You know,
Oh, wow.
Clayface came into us by Mag Flanagan. He wrote a great script, and so we greenlit that. Batman 2 has had, you know, Matt Reeves, you know, has moved the date a couple times of when it's coming in, but it's, you know, we moved the date because Matt wasn't ready with the script, and we need to give him time to finish the script in the way he wants.
That's awesome.
Right, yeah,
That's
that is
awesome.
great.
I've been around, I mean, I've been around so many big movies by this time, and I just see that the problems are always that you have these screenplays that are, you know, they say, okay, well, we have the first act, that's really good. Let's set our production date for 6 months from now, and then they go into production and they don't have the last act and they're writing it during production.
Yeah,
and that's just not how screenplays work. Everything in the first act, what they're doing is naturally related to what happens in the last act.
See, there you go. So that's what he's trying to prevent. You know, hey, let's greenlit, you know, when we have a finished, full-on start-to-finish script, because he saw what was happening over at Marvel Studios. He saw some of that stuff where it's like, oh, yeah, you just have a first act. You can't do it like that. And good. I'm glad that they're not doing it like that. That's why we, you know, looking forward to seeing what Supergirl is going to be, you know, written by Ana Naguara and then Craig Gillespie directing it. You know, that's what's going to be interesting, too, is like, the DC Studios big movie that's coming out next summer is not going to be not written or directed, just produced by James Gunn. So it's going to be interesting to see because obviously there are people out there that just the mere mention of the man's name, or if you see the glasses or the spiky hair, wait a minute, you know, it's like... There are people, I mean, yeah, people out there in the chat. I get it. It's, you know, it's whatever. I mean, I don't get it, but I get it. I don't get it, but get it. Yeah. But, so, and then, of course, talking about the Batman, we got John Turturro.
Sometimes, James.
What the hell is happening? What are we doing here? Stop it.
Especially in
what the hell is going on with this? Why is this going crazy? Stop it.
in the
diagram, like doing something like for
What the hell is going on? Stop it. Are we good? Jeez. What is this playing shit? So we got John Turturro right here, Happy, Sad, Confused. And he was talking about, of course, you know, when it comes to playing the
tentpole stuff that you guys do.
Why does this keep on doing that? Stop it, Twitter. My God. All right, so this is probably kind of funny right here. So John Turturro on Happy, Sad, Confused.
where it is in the Venn diagram, like doing something like for Matt Reeves in the Batman. Is that...
Well, that was, you know, I put a lot of work into it. I was reading all the comics and, you know, the comics that inspired that and stuff. And I took it seriously, you know, and I also went to the source material, you know, too. And I told him, I said, I'll do it if I can wear these glasses.
That was the...
Because I said, everyone else has a mask and I want a mask too. And I don't have like really cold eyes. So I know that. Yeah. And so you know, when you have that shield, that helps you. Sometimes one thing, or it can be something physically or a costume piece, and it can, you know, it can free you, you know, in a way. But I take it seriously. Yeah.
That's very interesting. And that's really cool right there, because he's right. Turturro doesn't have those kind of eyes. So to suggest that, and Matt Reeves going, yeah, let's do that, because he wanted him to be in the movie, and it's just like, yeah, good idea to like have like those kind of like those glasses that have kind of like the dark lenses in them, and that's his mask, and it did add to him, because imagine if he didn't have them. That's kind of, it's just really interesting. Yeah, Turturro, good job. I love that. And then that was just like circling around, and people were talking about that. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like the fact that he added that just to add to the character. Because, you know, I mean, if everybody remembers, I mean, that's, he had that right there. And yeah, he doesn't exactly have the most threatening kind of eyes for being Falcone and being the fact that he needs to be, threatening, I guess you could say. So let's have the kind of sunglasses, the dark sunglasses, just going to add to the character in live action if he's going to do it, because he's kind of a goofy guy. He's had some goofy roles. So no, it worked. I think it actually, it for sure worked. And then, of course, he did talk about that, why he didn't reprise his role. He said, I had done it already. I felt really good doing, the Batman. I didn't know if I wanted to continue. I like to come in, do my thing, and then leave. So I thought they talked about scheduling conflicts, which they always say, scheduling conflicts. Why didn't this person... He just didn't want to do it. He didn't want to come back. He was like, I was done. Good thing, I mean, it's so funny because if that was a DC Studios and a James Gunn production, people are like, see, he doesn't want to work with James Gunn. The people who hate James Gunn will be like, see, he doesn't want to work with James Gunn. It's right there. He doesn't want to work with James Gunn. It sounds like he doesn't want to work with Matt Reeves. Oh, you're not going to say that though, are you? Sorry. Anyways, okay. And then, of course, good Lord, Booster Gold. Booster Gold's going to be happening, guys. And this image right here just got everybody going, well, it's happening. It's happening. Either Booster Gold's happening or James Gunn and Kamel have a secret loving relationship. Because this was at the Peacemaker Season 2 premiere, and they were embracing each other, and Kamel is just like, yeah, I love you, James Gunn. I love you. And then pretty much there are people out there and people I would trust too that are basically saying like, oh yeah, it's happening. He's Booster Gold. And I'm going, that's going to be another casting where I didn't like the Sean Gunn casting as Max Lord. I am not going to like the Kamel one. I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, like I'm still going to be tuning in. I'm still going to be whatever. I don't know. I just never have really, like, I've enjoyed Kamel when it comes to other roles. But then there's some times where I'm going, he's just the same guy all the time. And, I just never been like the biggest fan. Like, yeah, he's funny. I've seen some of his stand-up. He's pretty funny. So maybe he'll surprise me. I don't know. But it seems like, yes, it is in fact going to happen. Now, is that going to be the big surprise, like, cameo or whatever that happens at Peacemaker? It could be. We're going to see Kamel just show up because we have Pocket Universe, multiverse shit going on. He's probably going to show up in Peacemaker Season 2. I'm guessing that that's going to be the case. And then, of course, we're going to see what happens after that. So, oi. I'm just not feeling it. Not feeling it. Not feeling it. Really not feeling it. It's going to be one of those that you're like, that's going to have to win me over just a little bit. Okay, so did I have everything that I wanted to talk about when it comes to everything else? Yeah, I think so. No, there was something else. There was something else that I want to talk about. Not the free balling. Sorry, I didn't. Where was it at? I can't find it, of course. Probably scrolled already right past it. Did I? No, I didn't. Yeah, it was this right here. So, 2027, we're definitely going to get this Superman sequel. Because, James Gunn told Collider basically like, this right here. James Gunn says the next movie in the Superman saga will start filming much sooner rather than later. We're scheduling it now. I'm totally done with the treatment. 60 pages with dialogue and everything. And so now I'm just turning it into a script. So the treatment, which he also responded to somebody on Threads too. They were like, what's the difference between a pitch and a treatment? So he was like, well, a pitch is just, you pitch the idea. It's not really much. A treatment is like literally pretty much story beat for beat. So he's already got the start and the finish and dialogue and events that happen within there. And now you just got to turn it into a screenplay. When the fuck does this dude sleep? I mean, that's what I'm kind of wondering. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy's just like, he's looking over scripts, he's checking things, he's doing this, he's doing the co-CEO to a studio, and then in the meantime, he's also writing scripts. Dude's just like dude's a workhorse, that's for damn sure, my God. So, there's that. Now, let's move over to, let's see, Peacemaker Season 2. Let's look at some of the Peacemaker Season 2 reviews. And there's not many. There's only 37 reviews right now. Of course, there's some internet reactions and a lot of hype. Kind of crazy. Who would have thought, after watching the Suicide Squad, that Peacemaker would actually be a crowd favorite? I certainly did not. When I heard that there was going to be a Peacemaker series, I went, really? You're going to do a fucking series on that guy? You could do it on Bloodsport or on Harley Quinn. What are we doing here? You're going to do it on Peacemaker? That guy? And then I was pleasantly surprised at how much I liked Peacemaker Season 1. It surprised me. I went, oh, okay. This is actually pretty cool. But it seems like everybody, at least when it comes to the reactions and people who I've talked to, Peacemaker Season 2 is probably going to be better than Season 1. 97% right now, only 37 reviews, so not too many reviews, of course. More will be coming out because it is coming out this Friday. So let's look at some of these right here. Peacemaker Season 2 still packs a punch, confidently delivering its narrative of belonging while exemplifying, I should say, the DCU's eccentricisms and Gunn's punk rock vulgarity. Then we got a bad one right here. The series may admirably connect the dots, but the results are patchy. Peacemaker Season 2 has the same flood of heart as Superman, is another excellent exercise in world building, and by virtue of feeling more like a pure expression of Gunn as a creator, I'd confidently say it's better of the two. Interesting. Peacemaker Season 2 is just awesome. Once again, absurd, kick-ass, bloody, and of course hilarious, while fully cementing itself in the DCU with what is canon from the DCEU. It blends nicely all together. Peacemaker Season 2 recaptures everything that made Season 1 so special, but it tells a whole new story with surprisingly great multiversal twist. So that's going to be interesting. I've been hearing about this twist. I haven't got spoiled by it yet. Peacemaker Season 2 tackles the transition from the DCEU to the DCU brilliantly, while still being sure to deliver the same wacky yet emotional vibes. Season 2 is very much the same show, giving us a sophomore season that I feel is even better than the first. Peacemaker Season 2 retains the heart, gore, swearing, and sex of Season 1, shifting focus to themes of isolation and self-worth. Equally hilarious and heartbreaking, Peacemaker Season 2 continues to be one of the best and most absurd DC projects, and it's definitely well worth the long wait. So yeah, a lot of people they're just liking Peacemaker. It's definitely a lot of love for Peacemaker right there, so it's good stuff. Man. So, according to Rotten Tomatoes, Peacemaker is better than Interstellar. Now, I think there's a lot of people that don't understand what Rotten Tomatoes is. Still, I still don't think I saw somebody and it was going around because people are like, dude, I saw a tweet that was going around saying that, oh, you guys realize that Warner Brothers owns Rotten Tomatoes, and it was like, it's like, come on. And I was like, guys. Well, first off, I think they own like a portion of it. As far as I could tell, they own about 25% of it. But then Rotten Tomatoes is not, it's not like its own thing, and then just that it pulls in all these different voices, and they're not all the same voices. Now I've never liked the percentage in the Rotten Tomato to the fresh tomato. I've never liked that scale. They used to have the grading scale where you can actually do like, oh, this is a 7.1 or a 6.5, and they had that scale which was a little bit more to the point. But it's the reason why I use it, because it's just bringing in different this and different that. It's not saying that something's better than the other. No, it's just like, okay, this is how these people are feeling. The people who've watched the first 5 episodes, which is kind of funny too, because the people who got screeners only got the first 5 episodes. There's still 3 episodes left too. So yeah, you gotta look. It's just a hub, it's just a hub. That's all it is, but some people make it seem like, oh, Rotten Tomatoes is like this. It's like this thing where they go after movies or they fluff up these movies. I'm like, no, they just they take that critic and that critic and that critic and that critic, and they bring it all in, and then of course they do the percentage, which I don't really like all that much, and I hate that people rely on that a little too much. Like I said, I've had friends that rely on it too much, but I'm like, it's just what they're saying. It's what they're saying. All right, and I think that's pretty much it when it comes to all that stuff. All right. Now let's move on to Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino was doing some talking. I mean, he basically was talking, well, he was talking about himself. He was talking about certain things. And, it's funny because we did talk about Quentin Tarantino. We talked about Quentin Tarantino on the Vox stream a little bit. If you guys were wondering what Quentin Tarantino, how he ranks his movies, at least right here. So he basically said during this episode, I don't exactly know what I'll have to look that up. But Kill Bill is the movie he was born to make. He said he was born to make. Inglourious Bastards is his masterpiece. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is his fave. And it's funny because I would say that Jackie Brown is his most underrated Tarantino movie. I think all his movies have been absolutely fantastic. It's so funny because Pulp Fiction is not even, he doesn't even talk about Pulp Fiction, which Pulp Fiction put him on the map, which is very interesting. But Kill Bill was the one that he was born to make, and Inglourious Bastards is his masterpiece. I mean, I could see exactly why he feels like that when it comes to all his movies. And then he, let me find this quote right here. But obviously we have the Cliff Booth movie that's going to be coming out. And it's funny because, Quentin Tarantino doesn't have social media. Quentin Tarantino will get interviewed and he just speaks his mind. And usually when he speaks his mind, people hate it when he speaks his mind. But then it was on that same podcast, which podcast is it? Sorry, I should have clicked on the link. I was just looking at it's just the Church Tarantino. It's his podcast. What am I thinking here? Anyways, so Quentin Tarantino reveals why David Fincher is the right choice to direct Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sequel. I think me and David Fincher are the two best directors. So a lot of people were already hating the fact that he was just oh wow, you just consider. But it's Quentin Tarantino, of course he's going to say that. I don't know if he was just referring to the fact of when it comes to the Cliff Booth character or in general, who knows. So the idea that he actually wants to adapt my work shows a level of seriousness towards my work. So some people were even talking about oh wow, man, this dude's full of himself. And I'm like, do you not know who Quentin Tarantino? He's always been like that too. He's always been kind of the, fluffed up his work. And yeah, I could see why people don't like what he has to say. But at the same time, there's not a bad Quentin Tarantino movie. When people talk about Death Proof, I think he even says that Death Proof was probably his weakest. I'm like, Death Proof was excellent. Death Proof I thought was pretty excellent. The Grindhouse, come on. And then, of course, he also talked about his last movie that he was going to do, his final movie before whatever movie he's going to be shooting this winter, which apparently it's going to start going into production in December. We don't know what it is yet. And, that's what's really cool. Like Tarantino and Christopher Nolan, they can just be oh, yeah, we're going to start the untitled Christopher Nolan movie, the untitled Quentin Tarantino movie. People just get excited because they go, what the hell? I mean, it's rumored that it's going to have a lot of star power. All the actors, or most of the actors who've worked with him in the past, are going to be in this movie. But he was originally going to do the movie critic. He had the script, he had everything. The script got leaked online at one point, and then he decided to scrap it. I'm not going to do that. And then here's why one of the reasons why he said he scrapped the movie critic movie. There was a challenge that I gave myself when I did it. Can I take the most boring profession in the world and make it an interesting movie? Every Tarantino title promises so much except the movie critic who wants to see the movie called The Movie Critic. So Tarantino doesn't like movie critics. He doesn't like people. He doesn't like movie. He doesn't like people who critic, because he's had his fair share of bad critic reviews. He's had bad interview questions. You can find those videos online. So it almost seems like he decided to write this movie, the movie critic, and he was trying to make it into something. But of course, he had a little chip on his shoulder, I would say. He probably had a little chip on his shoulder about it. And then maybe that's why, and especially after it leaked online, he was like, no, fuck this. I'm not going to do this. Why do that? And he's all, why would any movie critic want to watch this movie? And he probably, a lot of movie critics would probably shit on it. Absolutely. And so he was like, fuck it. He wrote it, but then, he wrote something else. Hopefully that's going to be actual gold. So anyways, there's Quentin Tarantino just talking about all that. I just thought it was interesting, some of the stuff he was saying and some of the reactions to it. Because, there are people that just hate Quentin Tarantino. When he answers questions, there are people that just hate it. They just absolutely hate it. Walton Goggins is Joker. You know what? Arkham Knight, I remember when somebody brought that up, I went, you know what? That's actually not bad. I can actually see Walton Goggins as that. Let's talk about the box office. Who went to the movies over the weekend? I know some people went to the movies over the weekend to watch like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or, sometimes it's like you go to the movies and you watch something that just gets re-released. Obviously, we had Nobody 2 that came over the weekend. That's the movie I watched. I really enjoyed it. Didn't enjoy it as much as the first one. And it didn't really capture a crowd, but, that's just what happens. But it's nice to see that Weapons still on top. An original horror movie only had a 43.8% drop. Only had a 43.8% drop. So Weapons currently sits at $148.8 million. I can't imagine that budget was more than, $30 million? This movie is like, we're going to get more with this world for sure. And you love to see that. You just absolutely love to see that. Freakier Friday stays in the second spot, 50% drop. It sits at 86.3%. 83.6%, yeah. So, and then of course, Nobody being the new guy over the weekend, it had a 9.2 million domestic and a 5 million international, altogether 14.2. So I don't know if there's going to be more when it comes to all that. And then of course, Fantastic Four, which is still, somewhat struggling. It is kind of interesting because that international number is getting a little bit more than the domestic, or it's getting up there. 52.7% is domestic and 47.3% is international. So it's at 460. I don't think it's going to actually hit a $500 million. I don't know. I mean, we still got some time, but I don't know if it's going to hit a $500 million, which is interesting. That's why a lot of the people who are pushing it back against Superman stopped talking about Fantastic Four all of a sudden. Funny that, right? And then, of course, speaking of Superman right here, let's see, 57.3%, so almost like the same percentage as Fantastic Four. Just seems like the international is not really digging the superhero genre right now, but 340.9 million, 253.7, so it sits at a cozy 594.6. So naturally, it's going to cross 600 million, and then it's probably not going to go too much further after, when it comes to that. Not going to go too much further, which is funny. So so the Superman box office, I think when it comes to the whole, like I said, this past month, everybody's been a box office expert. People have told me that I don't talk about domestic numbers, which is funny, which I always talk about domestic numbers. When it comes to the box office, and like I said, the domestic numbers are higher than the international numbers. You know what I kind of find funny though, when people keep on talking about nobody talks. I don't know how many times I've seen that either on my timeline or I've had it directly sent to me in my mentions. Is nobody talks about domestic. Nobody talks about domestic. I'm like, first off, yes, everybody talks about domestic when it comes to the box office. And do you guys know? Though that those little drop percentages from weekend to weekend? Those ones that we talk about all the time. What's the second weekend drop? Those little numbers right there. Those are based on the domestic box office numbers. Just saying. I was like, we always talk about those box office drops. And those aren't based off of worldwide or international numbers. That is based off of the domestic number. So yes, the domestic numbers are talked about all the time. I think that the diehard Snyder fans are just happy that they don't have to do the inflation thing, because it was like, I think they were a little worried for a minute there. Like, oh shit, Superman actually might surpass the gross of Man of Steel worldwide. But now, you know, now that it's on video now, and it's probably not gonna get to that point. Now it's like, whew, we don't have to use the inflation. We don't have to use the inflation tactic, guys. We're good. We're good. But then it's like, man, when I keep, and that's not even like any kind of defense of like what the actual numbers are, but I'm like going, you're telling me that I don't talk about box office numbers and nobody tells about domestic box office numbers? That's exactly what the percentage drop is based off of, the domestic box office numbers. I'm like, I don't even know what we're doing here anymore when it comes to all this. But hey, people still say it's a flop. A $600 million box office gross movie is a flop, of course. And that $600 million movie is getting a sequel and more movies within the universe. It's a flop. I get it. Don't worry. I get it. It totally makes sense. It all makes sense, guys. And again, if like these diehard Snyder fans, if this was Man of Steel 2 and Zack was making it with Cavill and it was the exact same numbers, come on. We already know. Yeah. Anyways. All right, let's talk about some movie trailers. Let's get off the fucking box office and superhero stuff for at least right now. And let's talk about some more original movies, because some of you guys need you guys need to go see more original movies. You're dwelling too much on this superhero shit. Let's see. So we got 2 trailers that came out this weekend. We got 2 trailers. Domestic Man is a flop, Dave. No, it's not, Lane. And you wouldn't be saying that if it was Man of Steel 2. Don't be a hypocrite, please. I like you. It's not a flop, man. Yeah. Anyways, let's see. It should be there. Johnny used to chat. Who cares if people think it's a flop? I just want people to be honest. Just be honest. Just be honest. What's wrong with that? We wanted that back in 2015. Didn't we? People were saying that BVS and Man of Steel were a flop back then. But now we're just, who cares now? I don't that's the stuff. I just want to be consistent, guys. That's all. I just want to enjoy this shit. Anyways, so we got Osgood Perkins, which he's become one of my favorite current directors right now. When it came to Longlegs and it came to The Monkey, and him and Zack these guys are the ones that are just like, holy shit, where do these guys come from? They're coming up with some original like horror movies, and Osgood Perkins just seems like every year he's got like a new story. So he had Longlegs in 2023, then he had The Monkey this year. So, and then we got The Keeper. The Monkey, Longlegs was last year, Monkey was this year, and then we got The Keeper right here. So I don't know if you guys saw this trailer right here, but man, does this look pretty crazy. So we already got a teaser for this, and it was just basically showing like it was showing like different women that were like looking kind of eh. So now we got this couple.
To keep love alive?
And we got Tatiana, what's her name, who was also in The Monkey.
Do I even know this man? Is it his face I see? When I close my eyes. Or only a mask that he's wearing? Always there, looking back at me. I think he's a keeper.
What the hell? All right. So then it's like, okay, so the trailer is interesting because the trailer could just end right there, right? They could just end right there, the trailer, but then it doesn't. There's still another half of the trailer coming out. So then we get, Tatiana Segal. So then we get the opposite side. We get his perspective.
Why does it always have to end?
So then we get the same kind of thing. And then we get more madness with this trailer. Where they're both just kind of like been in bad relationships. Why does love die? All that stuff.
Please. Do I even know this woman? Is it her face I see when I close my eyes? Or only a mask that she's wearing? Always there, looking back at me. I think she's a keeper.
Creepy. Creepy. So kind of interesting. So you got two perspectives of like, oh yeah, why does love have to die and all this kind of stuff and blah blah blah, and then well, maybe this one's a keeper, and then but some weird shit is going on in this fort. I don't know. It's got me intrigued. That's for sure. So we got that one, and then of course I've been talking about this one. And I talked about it last week that we were getting a trailer. But we got the Good Boy trailer, which is a movie from a dog's perspective as its owner is getting haunted. And I'm going, well, that's fucking original and brilliant. But also that with how cute the dog is and everything. And man, it's going to be a rough one because the dog's going to be like seeing some shit and crying. And then, of course, people are like, if something happens to that dog, something happens to that dog. So we have this trailer. And, of course, naturally, it starts off like this. Starts off with, aw, look at him as a puppy. Aw, how adorable. This dog's gonna win an award for acting. Already I'm going, nominate him for an Oscar. But that's what's gonna be so creepy about this fucking movie. You're gonna have moments like this where it's like, what? See, stuff like that, I'm like, oh no. See, and then you hear the cry. Ah.
I guess I'm next. I should never have come here.
Jesus Christ. Man, I'm so looking forward to that movie, but also not. I don't think the dog's gonna die. Better not. I'm gonna go full on John Wick. A lot of us are. No, I don't think. But it's just gonna be difficult to watch. I mean, you see, like he gets like chained up, and he's like, he's freaking out, and you hear the cries. You're gonna hear like the cries and the whines of a dog, you know, and that could be. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. And it's a cute dog, too, of course. And I'm like, ugh. That's what I just love that. I love that, though, that it's going to be something different like that. But both of those movies look, like I said, the horror genre is thriving like crazy, while the superhero genre is kind of tanking. Anyways, okay. Let's go to questions now, all right? Let's see what you guys are saying over here on Twitter, and then we'll wrap this up. And like I said, if you subscribe to the Patreon, I'll be doing a post show on there. What in the F? Okay, well, that's going to be interesting. But anyways, all right, let's see. We got a first Twitter comment from Mr. Eric Blake. Honestly, I'm with Quentin on shelving the movie critic. As I've said, he can bring it to Netflix, especially as it was originally a miniseries idea, and his number 10 needs to be something best seen on the big screen, something with strong visual elements. I'm thinking sci-fi. I mean, that would be cool to see a Quentin Tarantino sci-fi movie, that's for damn sure. Devin Wooter, hello Dave. I was sad when I heard the news about Terrance Stamp. What's your favorite movies he did? I mean, of course, Superman. And let's see, I wanted to do, I think Superman I read, like 620, 640. Yeah, are you talking about the box office? It'll probably be between 610 and 620, which I think I said that last Monday. I'm like, or 2 Mondays ago? I don't know. I was saying 610 to 620. John Cena versus The Rock fighting best wrestler. That's funny. This guy, fanboy, I don't know who that guy is. He's kind of a troll. Jamon Watson, you know, sometimes when they say that Fantastic Four is going to beat Superman at the box office, it comes back to bite on the butt. I mean, we will say, hey, Fantastic Four, I mean, it's compared to the last movies, which nobody talks about, it's doing pretty good. That's right. Found this on Facebook.
Anyway, there's nothing more I can do to bring them back now.
Oh, is this, what's his name?
He has risen, baby girl. Fuck! Found your new anchor being.
And we're doing just fine, you piece of shit. Anyway,
Wow.
there's nothing more I can do to bring them back.
Like, again, I haven't really been covering what's been happening with him and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, so I don't know. Also, Dave, I watched a really good movie last night on TV, but fortunately I passed out during the last 40 minutes. I guess it wasn't that good. Just kidding. And I went to see if it was available on any streaming or Blu-ray, and unfortunately the Blu-ray is out of print and it's not on any streaming service. What the hell was it called? Just shows why physical media is important, especially when you catch a good movie on TV and unfortunately it's not available. You don't even know what it was called? Or was it called a really good movie? Hey Dave, not sure if you watched Fallout. No, I have not, but I know season 2, and they of course released like a bunch of images and everything. So yeah, I still have to watch season 1, which I will, because I've heard good things. And that's pretty much it right there, guys. So there you go. Cue the copyright strike. Oh yeah, because of the fucking song, huh? Shit. Well, it won't be a copyright strike. I'll just, you know, what I could do post is mute the audio. YouTube luckily has like a nice little thing where you can mute the audio, so you could do all that. So yeah, I could do that. Where's your? You had a question in here? I didn't see it, Lane. Hold on, probably have to refresh. Let me check here. Hold on. I think my thing is acting stupid. Here we go. What's that out there? Okay, Lane. Sorry. Hola, Dave. If WB on sale, who do you think is likely to purchase it? My bet would be Paramount or Apple, especially after F1 distribution deal. I believe they're closer. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, because they're both kind of, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But like I said, WB is having a good year this year. I mean, they are. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens after the year that they've had with everything and with, you know, half of it being original stuff, which is good. That's what I like. I mean, of course, you know, Weapons was a new line, but, you know, they still are part of that. And then, of course, you know, F1 had the Apple TV help too, which, you know, that's what's going to be. You're going to see that a lot with these studios. But I don't know. We'll see. But Paramount probably be the best one. But at the same time, I just don't fully see that happening. I don't know. But if this year is going to keep on going the way it's going, like I said, Mickey 17 seemed like the only flop. That's right. That was the only flop, I would say. Well, how much did that make? Was that even considered a flop? Mickey 17, even though I enjoyed Mickey 17. How much did Mickey 17 end up making? Yeah, that was a flop. 133 million. 133 million. See, that's a flop. That's a flop. 133 million worldwide. That's, $600 million movie, not so much. Just saying. But yeah, so there you go. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because, man, I'm almost going on 2 hours. But I appreciate you guys spending time with me. Like I said, you patrons out there, I'll be posting my post-show video. I just talk a little bit about all that, about the show tonight and everything. So hit that like, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I'll be still doing a live. Like I said, I was doing the not so lives, and I'll still do the not so lives every now and again. But I was just kind of testing it. But I think I'll definitely be doing a live on Wednesday, and then of course a members only stream. Hopefully it'll go well. I don't know what's going on with doing a second stream through this. Didn't quite work. But you guys heard that. I did give something I heard. It wasn't a scoop, it was just something I heard when it came to Spider-Man Brand New Day. So did have some tea, a little bit of tea when it came to that one. But all right, guys. Yeah, so Patreon, if you guys look forward to the post show on there. And everybody else, I'll see you on Wednesday. Have a good rest of your night and have a good Tuesday. And I'll talk to you later. Hit the wrong thing.